Hey, Stay, how's it going?
Hi, it's going well. Enjoying a nice London afternoon. How about you?
Pretty quiet here. My wife's on a trip with their sister, so I have the house to myself this week. So very uh, different flow of the days with one person compared to two people.
Yeah, I know about that. That's perfect. What have you been up to?
Not too much. I was just installing some blackout curtains in my bedroom this weekend. So yeah, I had a much better night's sleep last night because of it.
Okay, yeah, I heard that was like pretty great.
Definitely recommend them. Don't don't especially love hanging curtains, but after they're up, at least don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, like a nice hotel room. I got one of those sleep masks, and it's
Mm.
been making a whole lot of a difference, especially with these nights over here. Because it gets light. We get light at 4 a.m. usually in summer. So yeah. Oh, I
Oof.
think
4 a.m. Wow. If you ever
ah,
need a
here we
pause
go.
or anything, let me know.
Yeah, no, I got stuck a bit. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I was saying that the days in summer are very long and very short in winter. That's, the proximity to the northern hemisphere, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry, there might be some baby noises in the background. It's my son.
Oh, no worries. If you ever need to take a break, let me know.
Nah, it's fine. He's with his mom.
Cool.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. What have you been up to this week?
Well, I had a sinus surgery last week. I was telling you about it. Yeah, basically one of the biggest sinus, the maxillary sinus, it collapsed, so they had to redo it, and I got surgery this Saturday, which was luckily like very successful and very light compared to what I was expecting. So no black eye, nothing. So sinus is back to normal. I'm breathing. I might be a bit nasal today, but yeah, at least it makes a whole lot of difference breathing. So yeah, it was quite a thing. I was expecting this. I had like lots of trouble getting this diagnosis because apparently it's a pretty rare condition, and I had to go through like seven doctors to actually be able to get to the bottom of it, which was
Jeez.
yeah.
You're looking pretty good for 2 days post surgery.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I was on fentanyl on Saturday, so that was, yeah, it didn't feel like anything. So, yeah, I'm not in any pain. And this, like, condition, what's good about it, I mean, good, is that it doesn't come with any pain, just like your sinus basically, like, implodes on itself, and you're like, ah.
Man. Yeah, any like face surgery stuff is always a bit scary. Like,
Yeah, I know. I don't know if it was noticeable, but my left eye, what was scary about it is that my left eye basically like sunk a bit. It might have been visible on the stream, so if anybody
hmm,
noticed, that was it. If one of your eyes like basically falls into your head like about 2 millimeters, definitely go to ENT and get that checked out. Because
interesting.
yeah. Uh, First, they've gotten me referred to neurologists, and I was like, I had like a long list of neurology stuff that could have been happening, but yeah, it wasn't that, and I was lucky that I actually tried to get a sinus CT scan. Yeah, and what's even more interesting about it is that I pursued this because I put my symptoms into Chat GPT, and it was actually in that list of conditions. So if it
Wow.
wasn't for that, I swear I wouldn't have done it, because I mean the doctors were pretty sure it was either Bell's palsy or myasthenia gravis, which was like neurological. So that's how I actually. I mean, it's weird, but yeah, I'm pretty glad. For me, it paid off. I don't know what other people are using it for, but for me it was life changing.
Wow. So yeah, so you learned that that was a potential diagnosis from Chat GPT, and then you mentioned that to your doctors, and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, that could be it." And then they did
Yeah,
tests and realized that was what it was.
Yeah, the actual doctor who referred me, they actually like searched for the syndrome because it was pretty rare. So I'm guessing they don't learn about it. And there were a few NCBI, I think, papers published on it in medical journals, but that was that. So he literally like searched for it while I was in the doctor's office, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, maybe this was it." And yeah,
Wow.
it was because I just like put in all the symptoms in there, and it was like a long list of stuff and this thing. So I felt like a bit weird around the sinuses. That's why I went for it. But yeah, it totally like evaded the first like five doctors I've been to.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, it was a journey. I mean, I'm glad it's over. It feels like way better.
That's good.
Yeah. So
Man.
that was my weekend. Pretty eventful, I guess.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Uh, other than that, what's the recovery like going forward? Like, is it pretty much like
Yeah,
pretty
it's pretty
quiet or anything you expect?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I mean, right now I'm due for a checkup in 3 months' time to see if my eye comes back to normal. But it's already been 2 days, and it's like pretty okay. I mean, uh, barely noticeable, and I feel like great. So yeah, it's a simple operation, but if you don't get to the bottom of it, it's yeah. I heard people having this and not getting their diagnosis like in a 2 3 years like span, and they were just checking stuff because usually it's neurology, and when they exhaust all the neurological stuff, you get to the actual yeah other things that can be causing it. So yeah, I luckily skipped like a lot of those steps, so it was like about 4 months since it happened for me. Yeah,
Man.
yeah. But other than that, yeah, it's been good. It's been good. We had a major release while this was happening. Yeah, lots of stuff happening, medically speaking, while we were working on hardcover. I remember your ACL surgery. Now I had surgery.
Yep.
It's not been uneventful.
I feel like when I was working on startups in my 20s, this was less of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, it's definitely like a later age thing to get,
Yeah.
the problem, the
Yeah.
medical issue. But
Yeah.
yeah, at least it's not really serious, and we're both recovering, so
Yeah.
and building hardcover.
Yeah. The the getting the release out this week was like a big weight off my chest after basically working on it nonstop for the last 4 months. It was,
Yeah,
yeah, it was basically a full rewrite of the entire front end.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, and I mean, it's already like paying off. I mean, app is moving incredibly fast, and everything is so better structured. I guess even for me, just seeing the code structure, it already makes like a lot more sense, and it's way easier to find where I have to come in and do the styling, and it just like has a whole other flow to it, which is great. How has it been in terms of how the data flowed through the application before and how it flows through it now? Because it seems like it's like way easier to uh, handle everything that relates to books, to readers, to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we did like kind of a big refactoring on like where data exists in the front end. Kind of before, whenever we'd show a book, we'd basically query the database, get information about the book, get information about your status for that book, and then we'd show maybe the book and like the book button with your status next to it. So every time we were showing a book, if you were logged in, we were also querying for your status for that book. We kind of changed to instead now we're preloading your status for every book when you load the first page of a visit. And so for most people with hundreds or even a couple thousand books, I wasn't worried about that. because it's just like it's a book ID, it's a status ID, and that's basically it. Like it's not like we're loading the full description about every book. We're just loading like, if you see book with ID 1, tell that currently logged in user that they have status want to read or they have status nothing. Um, but for users with like 20,000 books that they've saved in their library, I was kind of wondering, like, is this going to scale well? But then I tried it on staging with somebody with 20,000 books in the library, and it loaded those 20,000 books in 0.3 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
So it was basically instant, whether you have a massive library or a tiny library, just because of how little that piece is, just the book ID and the status ID. Since we don't need
Yeah.
all that other data about the book, it ends up being really fast.
Wow. Yeah. That's something. I mean, 20,000 books. I didn't even know. I have to search for this person on Hardcover. Who is this? Like
if
25.
you if you go to the new readers page and then sort by uh, books count, sort by books read. um, I think like Jeff Sexton has 7,300 books in his
Oh
read
yeah, here he
thing.
is. Wow.
And then
Okay.
when you think about his unread books and his want to read books, it's even much higher.
Wow. Okay. So Jeff, yeah, we know Jeff. Uh, that's perfect. Yeah, it's. I mean, for people with these kinds of libraries, it's perfect. I mean, it's like made for this. Uh, yeah, this is great, and I've noticed like all around the app, everything is almost instant. So right now, everything just loads, which is great. It's compared to what we had. I mean, if you remember our previous search, everyone was complaining about it. And, I mean, now how it works, of course, with Algolia and all the other algorithms that are working there. It's yeah, the whole experience becomes something else. I'm curious whether people actually like tried this in depth, because I know we have some readers who've tried it, but we haven't announced it yet. We're just squashing bugs. We're looking for edge cases before we actually announce it and do a major release. But yeah, it must. I mean, it feels like very, very different overall, and there's a lot of style fixes as well. There's a lot of new features as well, new pages, new ways things are shown. So that's that's
Yeah,
pretty good. I can't wait to like actually like announce it and yeah,
yeah,
get it out there. I still think we have like a couple of like things which are you know pretty easily solvable, but other than that, it should be there.
yeah. Like the last couple days, like every for the first like couple of days after the release, like every morning I was fixing what I thought were like pretty bad bugs, and now the bugs are like mostly okay. There's maybe like two that I'm a little worried about. Basically, the app sometimes needs to be restarted on mobile. Like
Yeah, I noticed.
it'll kind of crash, and I'm not exactly sure why yet. I need to figure that one out. Um, and sometimes, like when you mark a book as uh, like when you change the status of a book, it kind of stays in a loading state. Like if that server request fails to the server, it doesn't come back and say, "Oh, there's a problem. Can you try again?" It just gets into a perpetual state of loading.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it only happens when like something breaks, but it's an error case that happens a greater than zero amount of times just from like network lag and things like that, and maybe the server being a little overloaded at a moment. I'm not sure why like it would fail, because ideally we would just fix it from ever failing, but we should recover from failures and kind of accept them as a something that will happen.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. Those two things don't sound too bad. I've noticed the app having you have to restart it at some point. So yeah, I'm curious would solve that. Maybe it's a Cordoba thing that's causing it, or do you have like other hunches? I mean, I have no idea. I'm just saying, like,
I
words.
I I think one of the only things I remember changing is that I lowered the token duration. Before, our token duration was 1 year. So basically, like we generated a token, and that token you could use to manage everything in your account for a year, and that's the one that we used on the front end. And I changed that down to 10 minutes. And basically, the recommended way of working with these kinds of tokens is that every 10 minutes you generate a new one, and that's what they use for the next 10 minutes. So I have a hypothesis that is, like, if you are using the app, you put into, you know, you switch to a different app, then you come back to the app, it tries to use that existing token, and the logic to refetch a new token isn't working.
Okay, yeah, that's more. Yeah, it checks out. I mean, after 10 minutes, I guess it kind of happens, and you have to restart it. But
and
oh yeah,
it
I
and
already
if
have
you
a. That's good.
it, and if you're actively using the app for those 10 minutes, then it won't happen. It's only when you, like,
Yeah,
resume the app
switch.
from, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, and
Okay.
that's when it happened. So it's good. At least we have a theory. I thought that was like very. It looked like a really nasty thing. So I was a bit
Yeah.
scared. But yeah, that's good. That's good.
There were some other, like, annoying ones that were weird, like on iOS devices with like the search would kind of go above the little
Yeah.
area at the
Uh-huh.
top, because we
Yeah.
weren't taking into account that um, like that's top zero on a browser, but
Yeah.
that's also top zero on a phone. So you need to, like, move it down a little bit to make room for that.
Yeah. I
Um,
know. The
little
island. Yeah.
little things like that on mobile.
Yeah. But that got fixed really easily. I mean, I think I just submitted it, and I think someone else submitted it, and it said, "Oh, there we
Yeah.
go." Wow. Adam just working in the back. That's great. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah, I'm so glad this release is here, and we have lots to build on it. I think the feed is moving well. The way books are shown, the book page is. I mean, I'm waiting for people to take like full advantage of that book page, because there's a lot of stuff in there which is like waiting to be discovered. uh, the way we show everything, it's yeah, totally new, and it's uh very solid. I think it's the most beautiful book page from all the other apps, and I mean, I'm not like exaggerating right now. I think it's like very good. uh
Yeah, I am.
we've we've gotten close to what we liked about Letterboxd. That level of like finesse they had in the designs. I think with this we finally achieved that. So yeah,
Yeah, I.
proud of us for this. It's been like really good push. It's like unbelievable from some points of view that we're like outputting this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like, we're two people working part-time on this and competing with Goodreads, which
Yeah.
has had a lot of problems lately. Like, I keep seeing posts in the Goodreads subreddit about just bugs and server issues and the app not being accessible. And combine
Mhm.
that with everything happening on Reddit and Twitter, I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
we're, you know, really really on a good track for positioning Hardcover to be a place that, is actually solving problems that readers have. And yeah, I think that that transitions well into the next thing we're planning on working on.
Yes, discussions. Yeah, I think it's one of the things that we've been talking about for so long, and I think we had a couple of attempts in the early hardcover lives to have a stab at those. I think in the I don't know fifth or fourth, and uh, it's been I think at least 8 months in the 6 to 8 months in the making process, just thinking about how that can happen, and yeah, planning for it. So yeah, it's exciting to finally get to the moment where we're actually trying to implement that. So if you're hearing background noises, my cat fighting with the trash can.
No worries.
For discussions, maybe we can jump in Figma because I know you have some sketches. I've done some designs, and maybe we can like chip away at it and
Yeah, yeah.
do that. Do you want to share your screen while I go fill some pellets up because she's gonna be very insistent and she's not gonna let us talk.
We'll do. I'll share my
Okay,
screen,
just
and
once.
I'll also load some prototypes up from Discord while Stay's getting ready here. So let me share my screen here. So here's Figma. And I'll kind of
Pellets have been deployed.
let's see. Is my screen sharing, or is it still loading? There, just
Oh yeah,
probably.
we're here.
Cool.
Yes. So I pasted in all of your sketches, and I've gotten a few screenshots from Reddit and one from Twitter, and we have these nice designs over here. And I don't know, how are you thinking of approaching this? You want to just like talk about uh, how it can go and our like insights based on the first like exploration and feedback we got from readers.
Yeah, I think it's a good topic. And what I think I would love to get to the point of is where we have like a full walkthrough prototype of like a person views the book page, and then they have like all the other screens that they would interact with to make a post and view a post. And that's still only a small segment of the total discussion world. um, but I feel like that's a good like first couple screens, which I think I already see some of these are uh, get satisfying that. So we can kind of
Yeah.
start there.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
perfect. Yeah, that's a really good starting point because uh you're gonna get to discussions from the book page mainly. So you're gonna see the header of the book. So right here we have Cersei by Madeline Miller, and you're on the book page, and you go to discussions, and here there's the issue of how would you view these. So over here on this tab, this is just like a design that I adapted from these earlier ones that you put together, Adam, more to the left, and basically this is kind of like Reddit meets Twitter in the sense that you have these categories that would be sort of like quick ways to sort through discussions. You'd also have filters. So if you'd want to see uh, only posts which are up to like where you've read from that book, or only
mm,
posts without images, or only posts with a certain trait to them, you would be able to do some filtering from here, or at least that's how I thought about it. These quick things over here, and this uh, more, let's say, fine filtering, and then just the discussions with the main one, and then the replies. And for the replies, I kind of went the Twitter way, where you get shown a couple of replies, maybe the most popular, and then you can dive into a reply. So this is not like Reddit where you get endless replies, but we'll see further down, how that expands. So basically, this is like a glimpse of the discussion, but you only get the highlights. So you get the most popular posts, and you can navigate from here. You can also have discussions with that title, which I think is one of the things which will be like really useful for us to have this kind of formatting. And I know it's I think in one of your sketches as well. And a few things like being able to embed lists in discussions, and I had a try for how a post with an image could be displayed on desktop. So if you'd want to like post a picture of your bookshelf, maybe you'd do this, and you'd write a bit about it. I think what we want to encourage here is people like writing in-depth things about their experience with a book, right? So that would be like the main, let's say, goal of this uh, whole way to be structured.
Yeah. So let's see. So yeah, this would be like um, so anyone who has interest in this book would have like created a new post. They'd have entered this in, and then it would show up here. Yeah. I think one of the things that I'm still trying to figure out is like how much we show on this discussions page versus how much we like bring people into individual discussions and have them view them on like the single page. Because like
Yeah.
this is like if I jumped to straight to this discussion and tried to like kind of read all the way down this, that would be a lot of content on this page for what's effectively 3 posts.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me wonder about like what if like how would this same thing look if it had 3 posts and we only showed the title of those posts, and then once you clicked into them you saw something more like this.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good idea. Let me just like reorganize things quickly so we can mock up a few things based on this. So you're thinking basically have like only this title. So maybe this is a review of the book, or some impressions reading. I'm just gonna be like up to page. Nobody writes like this, but
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you'd get. I'd still want to get. I mean, don't you think that if we just add a title, it could be a bit, let's say, too little context for someone. I've been trying to like wrap my head around this idea of what would you write in the title, because the title yeah, it has some weight to it, and the thing which I'm not sure about is how difficult would it be for people to uh, actually like come up with good titles. Actually, let's leave the image as well.
Yeah.
So actually, like stuff which is compelling enough for you uh, to click it, basically.
Yeah, I was looking at how Reddit does that, and they have like on mobile you only see the title, and then on desktop you see the title and then like a couple lines of the post itself.
Mm-hmm.
And if we wanted to, we could use the same like fade out component that we use elsewhere, and
Mm-hmm.
like you if you click anywhere effectively anywhere around like this entire box. Whoop, that is does need a fill. Like anywhere around this entire box, like that's where it goes into the post itself.
Nice. Yeah, I think I get a better idea of where you are going with the post types as well. If it has a title, so yeah, on Reddit that happens pretty naturally. So I guess over here it would happen pretty naturally as well. I'm just curious, what would the titles be in the context of a book? So it would be great to have like some feedback on both of these prototypes to get an idea of how natural it would be for someone to actually write a title. Because for me, for instance, I think I'd rather jump in the post, but for many people, maybe it's better to write that title and give the whole thing a title. I'm not sure at this moment which one would be better. uh, I think one of them encourages a more structured conversation, the other one encourages a more open conversation. So I think that's the
Yeah,
debate, I guess, right here.
yeah, for sure. Like, because on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, there's no titles for posts, and
No.
I think of it more like on all of those platforms, you're making the post for yourself. Like
Yeah.
if people join the conversation, it's kind of like an added bonus, but you're expressing your own opinion. While I'm thinking of discussions more of like, I want to start a conversation with the rest of the book community. And if I'm going to
Hmm.
start a conversation about the best of the book community, I need to clearly articulate like why they should participate in this conversation without, just having a big wall of text that they have to read. So I feel like that, but that's very specific to discussions, or like questions, or like if there's a link to another place or even a photo, like describing the photo. But then it kind of breaks down if it's just like, hey, I'm at page 45, here are my progress update. And I feel like that kind of post, it almost gets like an automatic title of like progress update up to page X.
Uh-huh.
and it would show up differently. Like it probably wouldn't show up here,
Yeah.
like because like one person's updating their progress, another person's asking like um a specific question, but maybe we
Hmm.
can show those in different places.
Yeah, that's actually great, because I mean, my fear with this is that we're stuck in a format that's hard to get out of. So if we had this kind of discussion that's structured this way, this is great for like having that structured discussion. But later on, maybe we need to like steer in a direction that makes the discussion more open to our advantage. And I think there's like a way to do that, so both of those things are checked right as we start discussions. So if we do it like this, like a discussion board, like similar to Reddit, where you have to add the title, where you have to be really, let's say, put the effort into making it sound like you're asking people to start that discussion. Uh, I think this will work. Uh, just the way we structure it, I think technically should allow us to, at some point, and for some types of posts, to ditch part of that baggage, so that we can like yeah, exactly like you said, if you want to like post a quick impression and you don't want to write a title about it, or you just want to post a quote from page, I don't know, 75 from a book, you can just do that without worrying about the title, and maybe that title only showing up for posts which where the title has like a significance. So on Reddit it has a significance. I
And
think, yeah.
yeah, and I think this is one of the questions that I want to dig more into with readers as we talk to them, because I wonder how many of them they they feel like they want that because that's all that they know from every other social media platform out there, versus
Yeah.
how many of them want in-depth book discussions. And in-depth book discussions require some organization around them.
Mhm.
Otherwise, like it becomes hard to invite new people into the conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking, like, if I jump to a discussion page of a book, what would I want to see the most? And it would
Hmm.
probably be discussions about, and this is also a question I asked in like I've only done one interview so far, so I need to do a lot more. Um, but I asked, like, what would you want to see there? And they're like, I would want to see like conversation around specific plot points from the book. Like,
Hmm.
so I'd want to say, like, oh, here's a conversation about this plot point, here's a conversation about this plot point, and then go into those conversations and be able to see replies, be able to see what the most commonly held opinions were on that plot point or that part of the book, and see
Yeah.
if kind of his opinions kind of matched what were most popular from the community as a whole. And if not, have a chance to chime in and say, oh, this is what I felt about that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting. And I don't know. For titles for that kind of thing, especially if we name them titles, might be something that. So you'd want to talk about a plot point about something going on in the book. You could do that through the title, but maybe the title. I mean, for me, the title has certain significance. Like it's you have an essay and you have to sum it up in a title, kind of like that. When you want to discuss a plot point, maybe you just want to lay out the plot point and you want to get comments. So it's more like a quote. Maybe it's even like a quote. You like actually put the quote in there, put your opinion on the quote, and then you let others discuss. Uh, yeah, this is a really good point, and it's really interesting that it came up in the interview. I was thinking like, what if this editor, because I think right now our let's say mission is to figure out how the editor works. So how are you going to post things? So on Reddit you post things a certain way. You select the type of post. I think they moved on to that. I mean, in the app right now, that's kind of like the old way of doing things. Right now you can insert an image, you can insert media, you can insert things. I pasted the screenshots from the app over here, so you can insert a poll, you can insert a link, or if you tap, yeah, this little thing, you can go back to the old editing, which is kind of similar to how Twitter does it. So on Twitter, you can post images, GIFs, polls, locations, or is this voice? Yeah, maybe it's voice. Um, so it kind of like converged to this idea of toolbar that you can use to add stuff to your post. And I think that's kind of like the way we should approach it, while being very careful of what significance that has on the back end. I was thinking about posts like uh, when you write an essay about multiple books, so like this one. And usually on book blogs, these have like a really specific format. So you have the title because it's a post, then you have a description, you have all the books listed, and then each book is taken separately and basically offered an overview, maybe a few notes on it, and that's the blog post. So I was thinking, what if book bloggers, we made it the way for book bloggers to actually use the platform to write all these posts, or like have a duplicate of these posts that they post on the book blogs on hardcover, so you can actually follow them and get all of these recommendations, and yeah, you'd be able to browse through them. I was thinking, if we have this is obviously like really hard to edit. What kind of editor would make this possible and would make the other formats also possible? And it would allow us to have that control, I guess, because yeah, that's what we need to watch out for. I mean, that I still like fully agree that we should have like that control, and the discussions at first should be limited to what we think would make them most valuable, and that's probably like the initial model, that uh yeah, this simple one where you just have a title and some description, and then you allow replies.
Yeah, I think in this prototype here, we were talking about kind of like in that editor. So let's say um, you've picked you're creating a discussion. Maybe you've clicked in from a book page on like this button where it's like new, or create a post or join the
Mm-hmm.
conversation about Cersei, whatever it ends up being.
Oh yeah.
And it takes you to a place where it could be like that Reddit one where it had like the toolbar at the bottom, but it could also be something like this where it's like um, choosing the type of discussion first, whether that's a quote, a photo, a link, or kind of just a general discussion. I kind of grouped discussion and question after the fact. These are kind of the same.
Uh-huh. No, that's really good, because yeah, I liked that mapping because it mapped like all the things that you could like think about. um yeah, no, go on.
And I was thinking like after you select whichever one you select, it's going to have different form fields. So like if you're creating a quote, for instance, it's it's just going to be raw text from the book, formatted in the same text as the book. It doesn't need to have a fancy editor, because even if like a character name is said in the quote, like maybe a character name isn't said in the quote, but it's about a character or a character saying it. So kind of like you would also be able to specify the characters that were involved in this quote and the page in addition from it. And then this would, you could have spoilers, but actually you don't even need that, because if we know the page and the edition, we
Yeah.
know we know it's a spoiler if you haven't read up to that page of the book.
Uh-huh.
And at this point, this would create a quote, which then people could comment on. It would be a threaded discussion about this quote. I feel like quotes are kind of the easiest one, because there's not as much to them. But then like links are one that I thought could be really powerful for us. Um, I think like people love to post their content on Reddit because it gets a lot of attention. Like, you can
Yeah.
grow your audience, especially since like since links live on for a long time on Reddit. I feel like we can do something similar where we're creating kind of this archive of links about each book that are being contributed by the book community in a way that um, we can support those creators on all these different platforms. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, you create a link to a book, you give it a URL, maybe like if this is a text, audio, or video, um, a title, we could grab that title from the URL, but like titles from URLs often have like title, like, some symbol, then the site title, and then description about the site. So it's better to just enter that.
Yeah. I
And
had a question
yeah.
about these. What kind of links? I mean, the first thing that came into my mind is links to a book block, but what are the other types of links you're thinking about at this step?
Yeah, this could be an article about the book, like on a like Book Riot or in the book industry on the publisher's website. It could be an article that, like, Brendan Sanderson has his own blog where he posts stuff about his books. You could link to any of those. It could be someone is doing a podcast and they're doing a review of a book. They could drop the link to the podcast, say it's media type audio. Um, it could be, so this is kind of like these content types were kind of what would could elaborate on that, like review, commentary, news, where you're saying
Mm-hmm.
like, what
Okay,
is,
yeah.
yeah. Uh, Um, and then this mentions part, um, I was kind of imagining this like in this description. Um, maybe I wasn't sure if we even need a description for links or not, or if it should just be the link itself. Could go either way, I feel. But like if you started writing a description and you typed like an at sign, it would bring up options for like users you follow or authors. Or if you typed a forward slash, it would bring up like a search dialog that you could start typing, and it would bring out books, series, or characters. And it would link to them within the text of the description, but then it would also add them here as like, these are things that were mentioned that will be linked in this post, if that makes sense. So this is like
Yeah.
what we, on the back end, this is what we're actually saving the connections between these two discussions. So we're saving this discussion references these things, and they can
Mm-hmm.
choose to remove these but still include it in the description if they want it to be kind of like a hidden one.
Yeah.
Or they could add other mentions that aren't technically in the description if it's kind of alluded to, or maybe they don't understand that they can type at or they can type forward slash,
Uh-huh.
because I
Yeah.
have a feeling a lot of
That's
people aren't going to realize.
that's the thing. I mean, yeah, I mean, these are great because it's, I think basically it covers like every option you have with discussions, and every like option you need with discussions. I think like my let's say or our challenge here would be, how is a good way to take all these and basically make it so that it's less opinionated in a way that makes uh, it easy for people to do all these things from the same place without having to make these decisions. I mean, make basically taking all of these and putting it together so that all of these decisions, you can do these through a thing that, through an editor that doesn't like make you uh, basically decide what you're gonna post. I think that lowering that amount of I want to post a discussion, lowering that amount of that time that it takes you to decide, what kind of discussion I want to post, what kind of content do I want to share. If we get that to something which is as like short as possible, I think there's like a big chance it would uh, turn out to be, really really good. So I guess that's what could be nice to explore. Uh, what if we take all of these screens and make it so that it's less opinionated, and you have the same functionality? Because yeah, those mentions, I think those mentions could be like anywhere on the app, and we'd be the only ones doing this. When you said that, you can tag other people and authors who are active on the site with an at, and then use the slash command for books. I think that's like such an easy way for people to learn how they can use the editor, that it takes like just a second and you already know how to use the whole thing. um, I'd like take as much of the decisions in each of these away. So that's what I've been trying to do with the designs, and see if there's a way. Maybe there isn't, but see if there's a way to make this so that in its ultimate form, because this is like its ultimate form. Maybe we won't. I mean, I think like uh, let's say consensus is that we would start with the easiest like form the discussions would take. So maybe just a title and some comment that you can receive replies to, which mentions like what page you're on, and you can chat to other people about the book. So this would be like, I don't know, does this sound like uh, layer one like option for discussions, or can we make it even more simpler than that?
Uh, hmm. I I wonder if we want to like take into account like at least like different types in V1, like even
Mm-hmm.
like
Like links.
yeah, like links or quotes. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I could go either way on photos.
Yeah, yeah. Photos definitely seem like a nice to have. I think when people talk about books, the first like thing is to write, not to necessarily post the photos, but they will be great for like fandoms, they will be great for like content and videos as well. I mean, I'd want to see like videos of people uh doing all sorts of things, like
And that could
reading or
and
reviewing, or yeah.
yeah, and that could include links with the media type video for like videos
Yeah,
elsewhere.
exactly. Yeah, for TikTok. I'm wondering if these things, the links, the quotes, the even the photos, at some points, we could organize them in a way that it would be similar to editing uh, blog post, but we limit,
Mm,
depending on where you are, we limit what you can do. So, for instance, uh, at first, maybe we limit uh, where you can post links, or we limit who can post photos. Maybe it's just for supporters, because that would be like a huge cost for us. But we sort of like tweak this editor so that it does what we want it to do. So it gives the discussions the form we want, but just by tweaking. So it's the same editor, it's not like separate editors. uh, I know how that would work, but it feels like that's the like one of the directions it could go in. Because I mean, the thing here is to allow people to express any type of content they want, and to do that in a like natural way, without us like mandating, this has to go here, you have to do this. So that's kind of like how I feel it should go, especially because when you don't want to post like this stuff on the go. So you're in a bus, you have an idea, or you're reading a book, you have an idea about something to post, you should be able to do that like on the go, like in 2 seconds. Uh, and yeah, I'm thinking,
mhm.
if this editor can be limited depending on where you access it from, or how, I mean, even your role, maybe if you're like a supporter, you get some features, uh, so that it allows for like really short posts, like a title and some impressions, but it would also like allow for maybe, I'm thinking like, what if, it can actually be like a platform for, so we have those links to book blogs, but we're also kind of like a Substack for books, or like content around books, so that you can add a short post, but maybe you can also add a full article about your impressions of that book. So
Um,
you can add like modular content depending on where and how you access the editor. I don't know if that makes sense, but because it
yeah,
feels like these are like a lot of parts which could be like combined in a different order. I think that's like the the thing we could explore. They are the same thing. So we have the mentions, we have the title, we have the description. But what if we kind of allow people to juggle with that content without telling them where to like put everything? I think that would be like maybe a
it's
way to, yeah.
so so for something like this, um, where we have like they're really just selecting the like adding a title, and then they have this rich editor to add like any content they want, tag other readers, tag other things, and then as they're tagging them, um, it's like automatically adding them down here, and maybe on the equivalent for this page, like there could be like a section here that's like mentions, or some things, and it has like a number, and if you
Oh
click on
yeah.
that, it switches to like a different view that just shows everything you've mentioned in the post, and then you can like go back to the content side. So it's almost like there's two views for the post. There's the like authoring side, and there's the mention side.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's perfect. I mean, the sketch for the question actually has like a lot of the parts which we need. I mean, apart from links, I was wondering if like in questions, let's say it's not a question, it's not, we like ditch that category. This is like the editor, and we insert a way to add links to this as well, maybe at the end of the post, or add media, I think, and format like the text through the rich editor, so you can like choose spoilers, like mark them, like select and tap this
Mm.
is a spoiler, kind of like markdown basically, like have our own like hardcover type markdown for spoilers, for uh, this kind of stuff, and be able to add links and dimensions, and exactly that kind of like switch from the mentions tab to the content tab, so you can keep track of what you mentioned in the post. I think that would be like it, and it wouldn't need to have like that category, and maybe you can add like polls as well, or like anything which is like an attachment to that. This to me looks like it's like close to what it can be, uh, without having that category. So we're not mandating this as a question. This can be like anything. So we're not adding that extra step, like choose what kind of thing this is, but we're allowing people to kind of like morph this through the editor. So if they add an image, that's an image post from our point of view, but they don't have to make that decision. and we categorize it in our system as an image post, and we let people filter by. So if you don't want to see image posts, you can just like uh, tap a thing and maybe filter posts which have images. Maybe you just want to read, you don't want to see videos or images, and that way you can tweak your feed. But we don't make people choose, but we make that choice for them depending on how they use the editor, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
I, f-
yeah,
I feel like that works for. I feel like that works for like the authoring side. Like it would make it easier. Like if you were just like, you pop it open, you see this, and there's like a section down here for like quote, and you hit quote, and it just
yeah,
like changes this top part to just like, give the like let us know the quote. And
yeah,
then
kind of
like
like a
page
box.
number.
Yeah, I think there's something. I was trying something over here on the right with a lot of like stuff like these, and I'm wondering if they're like, oh yeah, here it is. So uh let's say you're on a new discussion and you have these icons. I was thinking, if well, some of these, maybe you have a title, you don't need to add a title, but for formatting, for these the spoilers, for marking your book page, for adding tags, for adding a quote, and for adding polls. Maybe it can be something like, I mean, that would be like the Twitter and Reddit approach right now. So I'm wondering if we can like make it so that, yeah, like you said, it's changeable, and you
Yeah,
can add like a quote, you can add this type of things, and it changes the type of posts depending on what you choose. So if you choose a poll, that's a poll. If you choose a so there are some things which are tools and some things that change the post type. I don't know if that would
yeah,
be like to, yeah, and the mentions, maybe they would be put somewhere separate, so you'd have like uh be another thing, and it would be like what's it called? The squiggle thing. Mention. Let me look it up. Uh,
seeing what the font awesome icon to use for
yeah,
that one is. I'm not sure. It could be like at signs, but that's like
at,
more
yeah.
people
Oh, it's
focused.
actually at.
Or,
Oh, okay. It's at. Okay, yeah. And maybe this could like, let's remove that title from here, and maybe this could take you to mentions, and you'd get like a number of let's say you get to like label. So we have like what, not so many, like 23 or something,
oh yeah,
like mentions or something like that.
uh, let's see.
And if you
Yeah,
tap this, yeah,
yeah. So if you tap that, like, would this show up, or
yeah,
would this like always show up?
yeah, it would show the characters, the books, the it would yeah, basically show up everything, and maybe not like, it would just be like a list of books and characters. Well, not like this. Yeah, but that's I really like that switch, for you to be able to just like see the text and then see the mentions. I think this would unlock like really powerful like ways for people to like interact with that. I don't know.
What about if mentions was even something smaller, where it was like, you know, kind of like
Yeah.
all in one line, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
more like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then there's like a tooltip if you hover over them, and then maybe
Oh
on
yeah.
on mobile on mobile it could be like that separate screen that lists them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that works great. Uh, that'd be really nice. Imagine, I mean, there are lots of people who like mention like 20 books or something. If you'd be able to mention that and characters and maybe what else? Uh,
Series,
yeah,
genres.
series. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be like really, really powerful. I mean, I'm imagining like every book blogger being able to use this editor to write whatever they want. So if they want to like have an overview of all the books that are interesting and coming out in September this year, they'd be able to do that. I'm wondering though, and uh, yeah, this is about like the insight we got from the interview. Someone wants to talk about a plot twist. How would that be handled? Would I'm thinking, maybe it's a tag. Maybe you add the plot twist tag, and then if you want to discuss plot twists, you just filter out all the discussions that have the plot twist tag.
Mm.
Would that be enough, or does it need to?
Yeah. Hmm. it's it's almost like on links we talked about having like this subset for content of like what is the content of this link. It's almost like
Mm,
having
yeah,
that as a as a thing for like discussions. That way, like the discussion could be a question, a comment, you know, a yeah, a mention of a plot twist. Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
sure
yeah.
on
I
that
mean,
one.
uh, I know Reddit has Flair, and Flair is like every subreddit's way of like categorizing a post, I guess. Um, I mean, tags make sense because you tag that discussion as something, and some discussions, I mean, at first maybe it's mandatory to add a tag. So we have tags about content warnings, about moods, about
Genres. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, about genres. What if there's like a separate category that's like discussion tags? That's like a series of things like question, like poll, like plot twist, like all the
Yeah.
like shapes it can take, and you kind of like have at first at least to add those, or if you're on a book you have to add those so that people can
Yeah.
select if there's a question or
I could see that. And we could use those same ones for link for, regardless of the type of discussion. Like the same
yeah.
ones would be valid in links as in discussions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm guessing, if you want to search for posts that link to external content and you want to like see all the posts that are linking to external content and that mention a plot twist. Let's say someone has a book blog and they talk about plot twists or a plot twists in the book. They made that discussion, they selected the plot twist tag, they also we also know the post has a link to some sort of an external to some external content. So theoretically I'm guessing you would be able to filter the discussion so that if the discussion you just like tick discussion has link and it's a plot twist, you select the plot twist tag and then you get all the discussions on that book that are both like they're not just about plot twists, but they also like link to certain external content discussing plot twists. And this is like a really niche thing, but I'm guessing, people would find a way to like use that to do all sorts of cool things. Like if you want to find fan fiction, you just like search for all the discussions that are tagged fan fiction and link to external content. And
One of
yeah, yeah.
one of the things that I'm wondering about for links is there's there's a couple different ways that come to mind for how people like would reference a link. Like if you're posting a link on Twitter, you're normally giving like an introduction to what you're posting about, and then you link to it. If you
Mm-hmm.
post it on Reddit, you're giving a title and you're linking to
Yeah.
it. If you're posting it on Hacker News, you're giving a title and you're giving the link to it, but you're not really giving like an in-depth like disposition, like description of the link. You're kind of letting the title do most of the work, because
Yeah.
otherwise, like it's kind of like if the title's enticing enough, they're going to go read that. Do they really need the description as well as the link?
No,
But
it could be. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah.
yeah, I lean towards just having the title and then not even allowing a description for links, and not even allowing people to link within a like a post.
In a post, like any post,
Yeah,
which is not a link.
yeah. So if it's the only way to link is to create a like basically post just a title and a link, and then not
Yeah, I'm
not how
guessing
a
like
description.
yeah. What if you know, if you add a link, you basically remove the ability to add a description, or you just like, even if they add a description, we just don't show it, or we limit it to a certain number of characters. Maybe some people want like a description besides the title, or we just like ditch it. So if
Oh,
you if you click on like add a link and you add a link, you only get the title and you can only post the link. uh
and then the
yeah,
tags.
yeah, I mean, why
Yeah,
not? That's yeah, that's exactly like for us to be able to like change the form depending on the context without having the users to actually like tap something beforehand, without having them make the decisions. That'd be great. I mean, actually, because if you add a link, you'll get like in the first moment that, you know, if you add a link, we're not gonna let you add the description because you're gonna have to use that title to like make that link work.
yeah.
So yeah, that
It's
works.
and it'll make it like really nice on the data organization side, because we'll have like this database of links about a book, and we can
Yeah.
use that database of links about a book like for anyone who's like following that book. Like there's so many things we can do with that. We could give feeds of that data, and then someone could like subscribe to
Mhm.
an RSS feed of like,
Yeah.
follow this book on your RSS feed. um,
Yeah.
and it's a different kind of focused content than like tweets with a link.
Hmm.
It's these are links, and the commentary isn't there. The commentary is on the link. Like you go
Yeah.
to the link to experience that commentary, but if you want to talk about the subject, if like you want to discuss it, then that's where you come to Hardcover to discuss it. But you don't need
Okay,
to.
so yeah, that was my next question. Would you allow like replies to links?
Yeah, and I'm thinking we could even like remove duplicates on this. Like, if 10 people are linking to the same article, should that be 10 different discussions, or should that be one discussion? It should be
Yeah.
one discussion. So by
Like,
having the unique on the link, we also stop like duplicate discussions, and we help people find a community around that discussion.
yeah, that sounds great. I mean, I think like there's like a way for us to do that just by like disabling and enabling things depending on the cases, because I think
Um,
now based on those sketches we kind of like know all the cases, and based on, you know, everything we talked about with readers and ourselves, I think uh, there's a way to make all of these possible just by like tweaking that editor depending on what you do. So if you
yeah.
maybe add a picture, maybe you'd just be able to add a description, or if you want to, I mean, the thing is allowing like the simplest editing to allow the most diverse outcomes. So I think that's like the way to go, and I think it's like close. I think it can do all that with just like us being really smart about how we uh, allow those discussions to form. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, I know it's gonna be like great to have that structured data, especially because every book platform out there has the worst type of disorganized data. I mean, this is the reason I think Goodreads is like literally like imploding, because uh, it's not like that mesh of information about books that makes sense. It's crumbling under its own weight. It's got like books that aren't there, authors that are mad that their non-existent books are added, like swarms of people who are modifying book data. It's a mess, and yeah, which is like the reason why, like from an architecture perspective and from a usability perspective, it's like a really great opportunity for us to like do this right now.
Can, uh, can I do like a brain dump on some comments on this page?
Oh yeah, definitely
Uh,
go for it.
uh, okay. I might
Yeah,
make some edits as I go. So I was
yeah, yeah,
thinking,
yeah, definitely. Like copy everything, like change everything around, because I
uh,
think right now we can uh, do another iteration on this based on what we discussed, and maybe we can show it to people, because I feel like it's really really close to taking the shape we want. And
yeah.
we've got some good comments on Discord as well, which kind of like shape the discussions. And I mean the discussions about
So
discussions.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking we like really alter what the high level organization is around books to be more based
Nice.
on discussions, links, and quotes.
Yeah.
And you would still be able to get to like the lists and editions page, but those would be potentially like things off of the book info.
Book info. Yeah.
So you would
Yeah. Why not?
like we already show a bunch of lists. You click over to the list page. Um, I'm thinking here, what if like these three, or these are all like a drop down, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
and yeah, you actually have hot. Yeah, I think you can just detach that instance and add a chevron. Yep.
yeah. So this would be like the
Mm-hmm. Nice.
things like that, but uh,
Yeah. Let
and
me
maybe like let me change this to
detach
oops.
instance. Oh, okay. I made
Yeah,
one
yeah,
with the
there you go.
chevron in it. Here as well. Yeah, in Figma you unfortunately have to detach them if you don't have like if they don't have those attributes. Oh yeah, so
Oh yeah,
guy friends
nice, that
hot
works.
ones new mesh square. And this oh, and it doesn't have the chevron. Okay.
Right. So these would be like some of the things that you could. This is like sort by, right? This is like
Oh
sort by
yeah,
hot.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. We can also
uh,
have sort. It can be like this can be like a quick sort. Like I don't know what hot would mean. I guess hot would mean the biggest number of comments in the last certain amount of time. So let's say 1 week or whatever we decide.
Yeah, it would probably be some formula that takes into account host age and likes. So it's like the average number of
Yeah.
likes per day. And then
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
it's getting whatever has the highest in that count, whether it's like degrades over time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then
Nice.
it'd
Yeah.
probably be one
Actually, I was
for
thinking. Yeah.
like all time, like the
Oh yeah.
this would be like
Mm-hmm.
a heart icon.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think we just parts. Okay.
oh yeah.
Maybe I'll replace the icon with like the simple one. Here we go.
Yeah. And let's see. There you go. And then maybe instead of filter, um, what about making this? Because like what we really want from this is for people to select, um, one of those tags like question, news.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Kind of like type.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so it's whatever we use on the interface for representing that we can also use here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I did some on mobile. I don't know if I did them for tags, but yeah, I didn't do it for tags. Uh, I was looking at, you know, easy ways to add your page number and that kind of stuff. Maybe we could have like one around page number as well. So it's page uh, or uh, up to, and we have
Yeah.
page, and this is bookmark. Maybe like
And
this.
maybe that could be like metadata down here, like less a button or a badge and more like uh
Oh yeah, I actually put wait. Bum. Yeah, I had a small tag like this
oh yeah.
page.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it can get switched to maybe it's. I was thinking for audiobook, it's actually like minute, so it can be either page or minute. That's gonna be hard to track, but at least, yeah,
And so you're what you're mentioning is like the person specified that this discussion takes place at this part of the book.
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like this. So we've got like a screen here. I was thinking, you could add your progress like through one of those. Well, this would be like a bookmark. Uh, so you could
Mm.
either mention the page number or the minute when you make that post.
And that could like default to where you currently are in the book if you
Oh yeah, exactly,
like
yeah.
are yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess there's a question on like, is it based on like how far you've read at the time you make the post, or do people specify the exact part of the book? I guess
Yeah,
both are
maybe
kind of
it's
useful information.
yeah, maybe it's not at your progress. You're right. Maybe it's like uh, where in the uh, book
Yeah, I mean that's the question. It's like yeah, it's like where in the book. Um,
location or no, not book location. Well, just leave
yeah,
it
it's like
like page minute.
it's like yeah,
They'll
it's
figure
like
it out.
discussion location or discussing
Yeah,
question mark. Maybe it's just discussing question mark. And then
yeah,
it's like, what are you discussing?
yeah. Page number, page or minute. Yeah.
And you can give one if you want or skip it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this would be like if you don't post, it's a general like discussion, but if you post, yeah, it gets sorted like uh, with that, and we can encourage it. We can even make it mandatory at first, so you have to add your page number no matter like uh, when you post.
I don't know if we need it to be mandatory because I'm thinking like if you've already
Yeah.
finished a book and you're just asking general questions about the book, those don't
Mm-hmm.
really have a page number. Those are
Yeah. True. Yeah. 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 Exactly.
like what are your takeaways on this character or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, it can
for
have the like finished reading tag like here and yeah, all these.
and I was thinking about how we uh how we like separate these visually. Like, Reddit has like different colors around each kind of post. I was looking at how Indie Hackers does their individual discussions with kind of just a line between them.
Yeah, I would
But
put a line between them. Yeah, definitely.
it's kind of the minimum
Yeah.
for
Yeah, I was
some
also
kind of
thinking of
differentiation.
having them boxed, but I think the like uh go to right now is to just like have something as little as possible to imply the context. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess yeah, this is looking good. Yeah, maybe a bit more spacing. Yeah, it could also be a box. Let's see. With boxes, the padding gets weird, but maybe
Mm.
it's if it's a quote, it definitely will have a box around it. I can definitely say that. Hmm. Maybe it's not too bad. I mean, this is a styling decision, and we all know how the feeds initially started, like our hardcover feed. So I wouldn't mind having everything in a
Yeah.
box and deciding later if it works or not. Huh? What do you think?
I think I like it more in those boxes actually. Like it gives each discussion a lot more weight.
Yeah. So
I
like this.
like yeah, seeing this though, it kind of made me wonder about almost like putting this up here
Oh, up here. Yeah.
and putting it as like a um how do I change the orientation of this to be um top down like like
Oh, okay.
that.
So you have. Yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know because then it kind of overlaps with the title box.
Oh yeah, it might overlap with the title box. Well, either
If it
way, I mean, yeah, it works like that as well. You can see some friends here in your network who liked it. Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of liking this. I mean, any style thing, like that's we probably like tweak a lot.
Yeah. And so, yeah, would we want somewhere that it showcases like whether this is I guess this is a discussion or a link, or would that all
Hmm.
be through these?
Well, you could put it here, so maybe it could be
Yeah.
like this. So you see the replies, you see the page, or maybe you have the page on top, and here you just see like what type of if it's a link or if it's a discussion.
Maybe
Yeah.
this, is this is feeling like
Hmm.
bold, but it's not bold. Oh, yeah, it was bold right there.
This can also be maybe it's just text. So
Oh
We don't
yeah.
have to have it in the serif font necessarily. We just have this. Ah, Oh, the serif wasn't so bad either. Let's leave it like it was.
Yeah, I think I do like the serif font. I've
Yeah.
grown to like the serif font more and more.
It's nice. Well, it's a good font. It's a good typeface. So,
Oh, what's it
yeah.
called again?
It's New Spirit.
New
It's
Spirit.
wait. I think I know the founder as well. It's from Type.
Yeah, I really like
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Miles Newlin and Ricardo Loco designed New Spirits. Yeah, it's a good foundry that made it.
I was thinking for these ones where we show like the mentions, because let's say this could potentially be showing like books, characters, genres, all the things. Um, if we'd want to show them on this listing page, or if we'd only want to show that there are mentions.
Yeah, we could definitely. I mean, I think it would be more enticing to let's just remove the image for now. To show a bit of these, so maybe just like one row at least for the discussions that have mentions to get like an idea of these. But I don't know. We
Yeah,
can also like have like a number, but I'd show like some stuff in there just to entice you to like go to that discussion.
yeah. I I think you're right. Like I know when I'm on the book page and I see like the all the graphics for like the books in a prompt, for instance, I'm much more likely to engage with that because I'm seeing those other books in the prompt. So it feels like that. It's like you look at this list, you see one thing that's familiar or interesting, or you want to learn more about it. Then that's when you like, oh, I'm gonna go read this discussion because
Yeah.
now I have like two reasons to go see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's a hook. It's a hook. It can be like pretty nice.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I was trying to remember if there were like let me look at my mock-ups to see if there are
The sketches.
any other things I was thinking, because I was thinking like um
The comments, the likes, the rows that fade out. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe add a quote in there as well. Let me see if
oh
I can
yeah,
like
like
quickly mark that. Oh, so you would have a box in a box that would show, or maybe it could be just like, hmm, um, quote from Cersei.
let's see. Oh,
For quotes, we can do like so much like really nice stuff, like maybe even add images that are generated for like the best quotes and yeah, stuff like that.
oh yeah, that'd be neat.
So maybe kind of like, well, really rough, but this is a hashtag quotes.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, How do I not have this font? I was like, sure, I installed it.
Oh, I have to send it to you. Yeah. Right. I think it might be on the hard drive, the Google Drive for hardcover.
Oh, yeah.
You want to put a link in there, right?
I was going to put a title and then I was going to put the link probably here. Like I was going to do.
Oh, okay. Can you just paste the link? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oop,
Oops.
okay, I'm just gonna get like this, right?
Yeah. And then has, let's see.
And we'll have a link icon.
Oh, yeah. Good idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they can even like have different colors. So maybe if it's a link, we have this. Yeah, this is looking great. Yep. Properly align this.
And let me see. So I'm curious to see like how um, Reddit does this exactly when there's like a link post.
I think
I
they
feel like
might get.
so many Reddits have gone away from doing link posts, and like everything has to be a discussion now, which
Well,
is
yeah,
funny.
yeah, they're kind of like. There's definitely a shift. So I'm seeing. Uh, wow, there's no links. Huh.
Mm, But
Yeah, I'm
I think that
scrolling and
allows.
I can't find like one link.
Yeah, and yeah, like I know r/politics, for instance, is pretty much all links, and it's like
Okay.
t- title, and then they do like something like this, like
Yeah, they have
oh yeah,
the image, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe we just stick to the links, not the image, because
oh wait, that's a promoted post.
yeah, that's a promoted one. Yeah.
um, trying to find one that's a post that's not about anything political.
Yeah. Well, I'm not finding like anything.
um, how about
I might need to go in about 5 minutes, I think,
oh no worries.
uh,
I have to go
due to
myself pretty soon too.
falling. Yeah. So maybe we
Yeah,
can. Oh, here's the link. There we go.
yeah,
Finally, a Reddit link. The much.
yeah, and it's pretty
Oh,
basic. It's like
yeah.
if you if you click on the title, like if you click on the title, it goes to the discussion, or you can jump straight to the post from
Okay.
the
Well,
link
ours is
here.
already better than that. We've got, yeah, more info in less space. So,
Yeah. Well, I think we're making good progress. I can probably when I talk to someone this week, I'll plan on showing them this prototype, and um, yeah, we can kind of just continue the discussion from there.
yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we're making like lots of really good progress, and I'm excited to how this will like shape out. shape up with the editor and everything. So all right. Yeah, keeping the fast pace as always. We're not playing around. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
I feel like once we like I was even imagining like how like impactful this could be for authors to have like a place for discussions around their books. And
Yes.
I feel like one of the very quick things we'll need after this is authors being able to claim their book. That way, when they are on the discussion board, people know that they're the author of the book. So I have a feeling that that'll kind of dovetail into this nicely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good that's a good note. I'm really curious about how that'll go, and I think discussions is the key to all of this. I think it's like the one of the everything else will tie into this because it will be like a social network. It would be like what we set out to achieve, and yeah, it's actually marvelous that it's actually happening. So
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
we're doing
Well,
it. Nice. Well, great. I'm gonna go do the night routine. I'm gonna go grab some
sounds
lunch.
good. Yeah, probably. I think I'm getting a massage later today, so I'll probably head to
Ah,
that.
nice. Some pampering. Okay, that's great.
uh,
Well, till next week. Yeah,
yeah.
let's keep up the
Talk to you
pace.
next week.
Perfect. Have a good one. See ya.
Bye.